Have you ever wondered how far you can really push an electric car? In my EV, the first question that someone comes up and asks me always about my EV is, so what's the range? Well, today in this video, I hope to answer that question. Hi, I'm Kieran and welcome back to EV Chat. So the question, how far can you go in an electric car? If you mean on a single charge, well, most cars will give you a listed range. But when it comes to the real world driving ranges, it's not quite the same. So what kinds of ranges can you expect in an electric car? And these are real world ranges. Well, it can vary quite a bit. The shortest range electric car available is the Mazda MX, which has a range of 170 kilometers or 105 miles. The average is about 330 kilometers or 205 miles. And a good example of this is the BYD Atto 3. The Tesla Model 3 and Model Y are a little bit higher than this. The longest is the Tesla Model S with its 560 kilometer real world range or 347 miles. So why do I say real world range and not just the number that the manufacturer says on a website? Well, this is because just like in a petrol car, the range depends on how you drive it. And although electric cars are a little different, I can explain that here. So what impacts the range? Depending on the conditions, there are various things that can impact the range of an EV. Take the weather, for example. If you're driving into a headwind, just like in a petrol car, the added wind resistance will reduce your range. You can experience this yourself if you try to run headfirst into a headwind and see how much harder it is. Terrain is also a big factor. If you're driving up a hill, it takes more energy to get up the hill, so this will reduce your range. But unlike a petrol car, if you're going downhill in an EV, most EVs have what's called regenerative braking, which runs the electric motors backwards and harvests the energy and puts that back in the battery. For those of you out there that like to accelerate fast, this can also impact range. When you push the pedal down hard to speed up quickly, your car needs to use a lot of energy right away to go faster. It's like running instead of walking. You get tired faster because you're using more energy to speed up. For electric cars, this means the battery has to work harder and use more of its energy quickly. So speeding up fast makes your car use more energy than if you were to speed up slowly. So when somebody asks me how far can I go in an electric car, they can mean different things. And another question that they might actually be asking is, how far could I travel using public charging? Or how far could I travel in a reasonable amount of time not doing overnight charging, for example? So in Australia, you can drive from Adelaide to South Australia all the way up to the Gold Coast, all using the Tesla supercharger network or the ultra rapid network, which is improving all the time and getting better and more choices and locations. Now, this is if you want to do ultra rapid charging. In Australia, you can actually travel the entire way around Australia if you're willing to charge overnight at some of the locations that don't have fast chargers. In other countries in the US, you can get from the East Coast to the West Coast and back, driving a different way. And that's not a problem at all, as long as you stay on the main highways. And I've heard also that the Tesla network right now is the main reliable way to do it, but over time, other networks will catch up too. In Europe, you can travel from the UK to 14 different countries in an EV, no worries. This used to be only possible in Tesla, but now the expanding charging networks and roaming, you can do it with most EVs now. So you can see it's actually quite possible to travel quite far in an EV on a fast charging. I hope you like that explainer on how far you can go in an EV. If you want to see more content like this where I explain and demystify some of the things about EV charging, please like and subscribe. It will help me know that this content is what you're after and I should continue making more content like this. Bye for now.